Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the Events Committee. Have we received any apologies?
We've received apologies from Michael Eslop.
Thank you very much. Can I have a proposer and a seconder for the minutes of the last meeting? Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Mary. Now we move on to the public forum. Would anyone from the public like to speak? We've got Andy and yeah. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce myself in my other capacity, which is as the chairman of the Armed Forces and Veterans Breakfast Club. And our previous meeting, which was held last Saturday, and the question was raised for me to bring up. Greg Stevenson, who is from Falridge, I believe, won one of the gold medals for the Paralympics. And I understand that Falridge and Burnley Football Club are looking at doing some sort of event for the celebration. And I'm asking the Town Council Events Committee if they could do something in collaboration or individually to celebrate that we have got another gold medalist in this local parish or this local area. The same as in the last Olympics where Stephen Burke was celebrated. And I think that the same celebration or something similar should also be afforded to Mr. Greg Stevenson, who was ex-Roma in Commando, who is, like I say, is now classed as a Paralympian. So I'd like to leave that with you if possible.
Thank you very much. That's something that we can look at, can't we, Nathan?
I think it'll be something that will have to either go to FES or full council because the events committee don't have the budget to add another event in this financial year. So it would require additional budget, which obviously would need approval from FES. I know that Gina was, I'd mentioned it to Gina because Council Lord asked me to mention it to Gina to go to full council. So it might be going to this month's full council anyway.
Yeah, that's a brilliant answer. I think, like I say, even if we do a collaboration, so we don't have to full cost coming down to one unit, instead of having three different avenues happening at the same time, to just do a collaboration. That's one of the ideas I had before I came up. But I think as a town we should celebrate, even in partnership with Pendle or in partnership with Falridge, something that could be done within the area, just to say thank you very much.
Thank you for your suggestion, Andy.
Yeah, well, it is. When I was with Alice last Friday, let's people in the Waterside Action Group, we have noticed at the back of Hawley Street, the kids have got nowhere to play, or because they keep running into the road, and that area needs like a proper secure play area where the parents can come out and check on the kids on a daily basis.
Thank you for that. That unfortunately, that's not something as an events committee, something that we could do. It's something that would need to be brought up at the full council meeting next week. If you'd welcome to attend and raise that point. Thank you.
Just replying to Councillor Bell's suggestion, can we find out if he supports Burnley Football Club? And if there's a link there, perhaps it'll be good if we can get some footballers in Colne and get them to join. And they have Burnley Football Club in the community, have money for events, things like that.
No, Mum. That's just made me think. Perhaps maybe we could approach Colne Football Club. Maybe they could have an event up there. For people just to turn up and he be there. I don't know. That wouldn't cost much, would it? and it'd be good for them. Is that worth suggesting to them?
Yeah, we can send an email, suggest it to them, and have a conversation. And obviously, something that we can discuss. Obviously, if we need funding from here, it's obviously, as Nathan says, got to go to FES and full council, obviously, for approval. But yeah, that's something we can look into. So, and
Yeah, just to reiterate, it was actually mentioned to me on Saturday from somebody who attends the Burnley Football in the Communities group, which is run by BFC, and they said there's something in the pipeline that they're looking at doing. So I just thought it might be a case of, as a point of contact, like I'm saying, it's a collaboration rather than 15 different areas. But that was one group that was mentioned, as well as Fowleridge Parish as well.
Can I just point out, as a Foulrigger, it's pronounced Foulridge, not Fowleridge. Having said that, I think the easiest way forward is for us as a town council to contact Burnley BFC is Burnley Football in the Community, and Foulridge Parish Council, and indeed Pendle, to see whether there is anything planned, and if there is, what is it? And let's not try and have 3 Saturdays with something on. I know with people are likening it to Stephen Burke, but by the time there was the full thing for Stephen, he'd actually had 2 gold medals and a bronze. And that was organised by Pendle, and hence the Stephen Burke track and the portrait and goodness knows what. So I think we just need to make contact with everybody so that we know what's happening.
Yep.
You can't have a gold.
thank you.
People keep saying we want a gold post box. You can't have one because they were purely for the 2012 London Olympics. So unless the Olympics are coming back, which by the time they do, we'll probably not be here to see them.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to move on as well now to just going to pull forward item 9, Remembrance Sunday, and over to Nathan.
So everything for the Remembrance Sunday parade has been booked and it's been arranged and it's in place, ready. So that's obviously the road closure, the first aid, the brass band, the bagpiper, the wreath, and the PA system for back of the quad. West Riding Hyundai have kindly sponsored the lamppost poppies, which will go around the town around about 2 weeks before. In regards to the music that's played on the back of the quad for the actual parade, we're still looking at trying to find a suitable track that keeps with the marching pace and the marching beat. Hence why Tony's here this evening, because we need to find a suitable track that we can use year in, year out. So if you've got anything to add to that, Tony?
Nathan, do you know that song from the 1917 when he was in the trenches? That's the soundtrack from that. That would definitely go with that, I think.
I'm not against the music. It's the one thing, on and on, and it's on and on and on, and it's a bit. There are other marching tunes. It was very repetitive. But I mean, you could have just a couple that with the same beat.
That's the point I was going to come to. We had a couple of complaints from last year. I've only just heard about this, by the way, where the tunes were ending a gap and then the tunes were starting, and all the tunes were at different beats, and there was no beat in between. Now, I remember, was it 3 years ago when I sent some tunes and the drum beat in between them, which my son had edited for me. I told him the wrong beat. I told him 60 beats a minute, and I should have said 90. So what I would suggest, well, what I came to ask you was, could somebody do those 8 songs with a beat of 90 beats through the songs and in between the songs?
I'd agree with that, if it's possible.
Yeah.
Is she right?
Because when I had it done, I put 60 beats in. It was like a funeral march. It was about 3 years ago.
It's too slow. So we get it on.
It is something that we could arrange. I'm just trying to think where we would get it done. Where did you get it done, Tony?
Well, my son did it at my house, but he knew what he was doing. And unfortunately, he's working away now, so I can't get him to do it again.
Right.
Just need a drummer or some.
No, he did it all on some editing software.
Oh, right.
And I gave him the names of the songs, and then he slowed them down and put the beat in between each song. Because you only need, I think it was 12 minutes coming down and 14 minutes going back, because I walked it, timed it.
Honestly,
Out of my depth here, but would it be useful to get in touch with a military band within the army? Advice.
oh yeah.
I told you I was out of my depth.
We know the songs that we need to play,
Right.
and then we know the pace now. So the problem was, the first time we did it too slow. And people were complaining because it was like a funeral march. But that was down to me. I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Pace.
Do you want to send me an email, a message with exactly what we need, and then I'll hunt down someone that can edit it all, and then we can get it sorted, ready for. Well, once it's done, I can let you listen to it, make sure it's right, and then
We can keep it forever.
we can keep it forever.
I was hoping that you'd still have the original that we sent,
Oh, right. Do you send it?
because it was too slow. And when you played it on the quad bike or back of the Land Rover or wherever it was, I can't remember which way, but it was too slow.
So could you still use it and just make
Well,
it
that's
go
what I
a
was
bit?
hoping, that somebody could just
Just turn it up.
ramp it up.
Right. Make it quicker.
I'll send you all the titles again,
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what needs to be done.
yeah,
I'll do that tomorrow.
yeah. Once I've got that, I can get looking into getting someone to edit it, and then
Now, the other point, the other reason two reasons I'm here. I was supposed to be introducing and letting you see Adam Bancroft, the parade marshal. He's taking everything over. I'll be in the background helping him, but he will be the man to talk to about everything that you need to talk to. And the other thing is, we've lost our Hattie. She's moved away and she can't play this year. So I spent 3 days ringing around various bands and people that I might know, trying to get a new bugler. Now, there's a lady over in Accrington Pipe Band. She's going to let me know tomorrow whether she can get released to play for us. And if she can't play for us, then we might be having the quad bike with a bugling on the back as well.
right. If you keep us updated, we can.
I will do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Tony. I just want to Ian and then Haley, and then I'll take Howard. Thank you.
Yes.
Because who's served as well, yeah.
Right, thank you, Chair. Nelson Corn College have, I believe, a very, very good music department and their own throat electronics, things like that. Why don't we approach them and ask if the students would like to do something? Put something together for us because they are very professional. They got all the kit, all the, everything you need. And I'm sure that if you tell them what tracks you want, what beat you want, they could put something together that would last us a long time. And it wouldn't, and if they could do it as a project as part of their curriculum, etc., it wouldn't cost. Yeah, because a lot of the students at Nelson Corn College are doing this public service thing as well. So they are geared to providing people for the military and other uniformed services, and they've got a good reputation. It's just a way of, just a thought that I said by approaching the college, it includes the young people as well, which is important for Remembrance Day.
That's an excellent suggestion, Ian. Thank you for that.
I think it's mainly because obviously civilians haven't got a clue how to march, sadly. But there's a lot of veterans in there who are experts at marching, and I think, apart from the sappers,
Hayley, and then
I've literally just come from taking my son to drum lessons down at the acoustic studio 2 streets down on Stanley Street. They have a full digital setup, all the acoustics, all the staging. I'm quietly sure that just been contacting them or popping in one day, I'll happily send an email if you would, that they'd be able to process and put everything together for you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Hayley.
Thank you, Chair. Coming back to what Councillor Robinson's just said about Nelson Corn College musical section, maybe they have a bugler there.
I don't want to disappoint you, but they don't do music at Nelson Corn College anymore. They've all got to go to Burnley College. There's just no department at all. No performing arts, nothing at Nelson Corn.
They've got a young person who could do more.
Well, Dorothy. Invite you to play.
First one to speak, volunteers saying, "Oh, Dorothy, that's your next project for the month."
But there are enough people who worked on the blues who could probably do it. I'd start with Simon, and there's Marcus Whitaker. He can probably rustle it up. He may not rustle the bugler up, but do they not do performing arts at Rosendale? Because they used to.
What about West Craven?
Shall we just see what this lady says?
We'll see what this lady says. Excellent suggestion there, Tony. Thank you for that. There you go, Dorothy. You're volunteering again to organise this. You're adding a list here. Thank you for those suggestions. Just go back on now to item 6, which is feedback from the fun day. Thank you.
So I'll quickly pull up the after movie, we'll call it, from the fun day. Just see you can remember how great the event was, because obviously it was back at the beginning of July. So as you can see from the video, the event, despite the weather, was very successful. In the days leading up to the event, we had a couple of issues with the ground conditions, hence the fairground being moved onto the concrete football pitches to obviously prevent damage to the grass, which worked quite well. And we had to change the layout of the event quite quickly, and obviously get traders into a different position to what they was originally informed. But despite that, it was a very successful day. And then obviously the event doubled up as our €3 fan zone for the England versus Spain final, which between the event finishing and within the space of an hour, we'll say the fun day was turned around the final with all the fencing being erected, all the traders packing up and getting everything ready to open up the fan zone, which we hit capacity in 12 minutes, which was great. We had police on just checking in because they was checking in at all the fan zones. But we had quite a lot of attention from the BBC and Sky Sports. Sky Sports were there throughout the day and in the evening to interview people and get reactions from obviously the equaliser, which didn't get us right far, but they got the highlights from that. A little bit of positive news from the fan zone is it didn't actually cost Town Council anything because we covered costs from the bar sales, which obviously covered the cost for the staff, the fencing, the first aid, the security, the screen, the live entertainment before and at half time. So the event overall, both the fun day and the fan zone, were a huge success. Despite the 25-hour day, it was great fun.
Thanks for that, Nathan. You put on an excellent job, despite, well, the result, but Dorothy?
Yeah, I have to say, as much as it pains me, a huge thank you to Nathan for pulling that together from the Wednesday night when they knew they were in the final to putting that on the Saturday. It was a huge success. I was there right till late at night. I know Nathan was there till the early hours of the morning, and I've been there the day before from the early hours of the morning. So, and all the staff, all the rest of the staff did a sterling job. The only worry that I had, and I don't want to say too much about it, was the security team. And that didn't work at all. And Nathan knows what went wrong there, and so does our licensing officer, and he had to go and have a word with them and disperse them to sort out the underage drinking. And there was quite a bit of it, and they got in with alcohol and they hadn't had the bags checked, and it was just terrible. But the whole of them was superb.
Just to clarify, there was no alcohol being sold underage on the bar. They'd brought it in or drunk it before coming in. Just to clarify for anyone.
As a postscript, I turned on the television on Monday morning, and it was left on Sky News, and the first thing that came up was these were the fan zones, blah blah, big O2, and Colne in Lancashire.
Well, at least we had, at least we're on Sky Sports, Craig.
Yeah, I think this year the weather's been a challenge all round for traders, and yeah, hats off to you, Nathan. You did a fantastic job that day from a trader's point of view. I thought it might have been cancelled for a few reasons, but you turned it around, so thank you.
Just to ask a point of it has McAdams on the clip. Were they sponsors?
Yeah, so as mentioned in the last meeting, we had McAdams, obviously based from North Valley, and EFS Global as the event sponsors, which is very much appreciated, and we've sent them thank you letters since. Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on to item 7, feedback from the cycle race.
Got another highlights video for you, but this one's from the Colne Grand Prix. Obviously, this year's cycle event was it was 20 years since the first one. So we put a little bit extra on for the cycle race, as well as the additional women's race.
Tonight we've started off with cycle sport going all the way around, doing some laps showing the local club. Then we've got the result of the back sport race, then the Vale Grand Prix mid race. Currently we have the final race of the night, which is the open men's race. That's still going on. We've got lots of crowds in the town. You want to skate by, so fantastic racing and everybody having a good time.
So the event was a great success as always. All the sponsors involved were really, really happy with how the night went, and they're all pretty keen to get on board again for 2025. A massive thank you to obviously all the sponsors. So you've got Fort Vale, who sponsored the men's and women's elite races. Riggs Auto Pack, who sponsored the support race. Coalition Facilities Management, who sponsored the youth race. McAdams Colne sponsored the barriers, so they contributed towards the cost of the barriers. There was Hope Technology, who sponsored the first aid provision. And then there was Asda. Diana Asda kindly donated bottles of water and other bits for the volunteer pack lunches and flowers. So the event couldn't happen without the sponsors, so massive thank you to those. And I know that British Cycling are keen for us to go ahead again next year because they've already been in touch. But yeah, it was a great success.
It's great. It's great news that British Cycling do want us to continue because it brings a lot to our town. It brings in sponsors, it brings in money, and it brings attention to our town. And thank you again, Nathan, for organising a fantastic event. You and all the volunteers as well, just to get the event on, get the barriers up, get all the road closures sorted, get the issues with the roads fixed. Excellent job, thank you. On to
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to I echo what you've just said, Chair. It was again another brilliant event. We had lots of people, and I was doing I was walking around doing some of the races, and the voices I could hear, not all of them local. which is good, because obviously we get people with come from different areas for the races, but it was the supporters, it was the people from Yorkshire, from Merseyside, from Manchester, coming to watch the races in person, which brings more prestige to the town. So 20 years, they're asking for 20 more, and that can't be underestimated as what an achievement we are doing here in Colne through the cycling. So once again, well done, Nathan and team.
Thank you very much, Patricia. On to item number 8, Halloween in Colne. You've all got your posters for the event, which is.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Can I just go back again? It's just for my these videos are really good. I mean, we don't do them. Who do we get to do them for us? Is it the people that we use for the Scott Dawson?
No. The company we use is a local lad. He's only 19. He's a photographer for Burnley Football Club, and he does a lot of wedding videos. So we tried him out a couple of years back for Christmas, and it were very popular and it's very affordable. So we keep trying to use him, as he's obviously a small local business.
Yeah.
But he's keen to work with us and keep costs down to obviously keep doing this.
I also think he does a good job, because those videos, they make people come to our events because, they always are really good. Yeah, good.
Oh, on to Halloween. So you should have a copy of the draft poster that's been finalised today. Obviously, from the poster, you'll be able to see that there is there's a Harry Potter theme for the event, which we've been working away downstairs to get everything in place ready. So all the operational elements are done for the event. So the first aid, the waste management, and the traffic management's been booked. There will be a road closure in place as per the event site plan, which the event coordination team at Pendle's got it at the minute, but they've no objections. They're actually on annual leave at the minute, but I've spoke to her and she said it'll be fine. She'll get the official order to us as soon as she's back. We've got a variety of entertainment taking place over the day. So we've got free craft activities, free face painting, free broomstick training, free spell casting, free potion making, free Quidditch training. We've got walkabout characters, which we'll be handing out bonfire lollies. We've got fun fair rides, which we've got 2 brand new rides this year coming along. So the fairground providers bringing a fun house, which he literally bought yesterday, which is something bigger for the older children. And then we've also got a Miami attending as well, which is for the teenagers, just to trial it, see how it goes. We've got axe throwing. We've got the owls coming, where children and people can hold the owls for free. We've got a wizard trail, where so there'll be a trail leaflet, and they'll collect them from the information tent that will be next to the stage, and they'll go around the businesses and collect items from the businesses, such as wands, scar tattoos, glasses, jelly beans, frogs, broomsticks, all that fun stuff. And then once we've collected all the items, they'll be officially enrolled into Hogwarts. Then there's a photo opportunity as well, where it looks like they're going through the wall of 9 3/4. We've then got the Punch and Judy comedy magic and balloon modelling, and the chap that does those is going to be dressed as a wizard, which always goes down great. We've got pole joist, which is a big inflatable set where you sit on top of the pole and you try and knock the other person off, but they've got like helmets on and whatnot, but it's like you're fighting on a broomstick. Well, that's how we imagined it. Giant games area, which was just something they threw in for free because we've used them quite a lot. And then we've got a brand new caving experience, which is a trailer where you climb in with a helmet on with a torch, and it gives you that experience of caving. And then there's obviously safety hatches throughout, so if anyone gets uncomfortable or they don't like it, then they can come out. Not a problem at all, but that was just something that we thought we'd put in extra to fill the event and keep people there all day. On top of that, we've got a small stage, which we've got a Harry Potter show, which the people that are doing the workshops will get all the children together and hype them all up and get them all ready to go and do the workshops and all the other activities. We've got live music, and then we've got a Harry Potter magic show, fancy dress competition, and then Colm Uni are running workshops during Halloween half term, which will give them a slot on the stage to showcase what the children have done in those workshops. We've got a market on. We've got 40 stalls, which have brought in over £1,500 to help with the cost of the event. Everything's pretty much in place and ready because I'll be on paternity leave the week before and the beginning of that week. And then I'll be cutting my paternity leave short to make sure the event's all ready. And then I'll finish it after. But everything's in place, and we're just getting ready to put the poster out on social media and into the businesses and into the press and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we're ready if anyone's got any questions.
Thank you for that.
Nathan, I just want to thank you for being the best event manager in Colne. It's the only one in the world, yeah. And it means a lot that you organise the events for Colne, because that's what brings the visitors and the money into Colne. So thank you so much.
Thanks for that, David.
Thank you, David. I'd like to obviously echo that as well. Trisha and then Andy.
Yes, Chair, thank you. I noticed that we've got the road closed from Windy Bank. What time are the roads being closed?
I think it's 6 a.m. until the road closure order's till 10, but as soon as the road's clear, then it'll get reopened then, which we're hoping is around about 8, half 8-ish.
I know I'm not on the events committee, but of some of the past events that's been put on with road closures, I've had a few businesses approaching me. So can I have a recommendation for the businesses that are going to be affected with the road closure, when the road's going to be shut, that they are notified either in writing or a leaflet that they know it's going to be closed on that day and what times they are?
So what we do this time of year, because we know there's obviously road closure, remembrance, Christmas lights switch on, we send letters out to all the businesses on the high street, and we just send them a letter to let them know that these are road closures in place and the time, so that they can obviously make alternative arrangements for deliveries and obviously let the customers know. We also heavily advertise it across social media several times throughout the build up to the event, just to make sure everyone's aware. Obviously, the road closure, we don't normally do it for Halloween, but because of the redevelopment of the market, we've lost half of Parliament Street car park, and I don't feel by using the car park and possibly the bus station would work for the type of events we do, hence the road closure. But obviously, any businesses that want to get involved, please get involved, because town will be a lot busier than your standard Saturday. So make most of it. But we will be sending letters out to let everyone know way in advance.
I think I understand Councillor Bell's point there, but we do have an additional couple of thousand people in the town on that day. And it pains me to say this, but there'll always be somebody that isn't happy with it. And like Nathan says, they all get to know, they're all aware, they're all informed. And then, you know, you've got a Saturday afternoon, and you go into Colne on a normal Saturday afternoon, and you go to one of the events on a Saturday, and it's heaving, absolutely heaving. You know, so yeah, thank you.
Just picking up on what you just said, Dorothy, and what you said, Andy. When we did the Blues a few weeks ago, I think me and Dorothy spoke about this on the day. I don't want to name names, but there were businesses that were closed during the Blues that could have done an absolute roaring trade if they'd have just opened, especially on a Sunday. You know, and when I used to be in the market, we used to put a store outside as well. You've got to, you know, you've got to tap into it, and that's not possible for all businesses. I get that, but you know, where they can, I think they should. And if they need some help, then you know, I'm sure Nathan would love to point them in the right direction as well.
Can I just echo what Craig said? Because when at the Blues, when Olivia's shoe shop was down, that she put a sale on and she sold all her winter and summer stock for a tenner each pair, and she cleared the place out. French people came and bought them, you know, people from away. So it is worth opening.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention which businesses have approached me. What I'm just going to say is the ones that did approach me were, how do I say, they were down substantial amounts of money. One was usually busy on a Saturday, very busy, and he said footfall was maybe 4 by 12 o'clock, where usually at least 30 or 40 would have been through the doors. Another business was telling me that because the nature of the business, there weren't people going in because if you're coming up town, they're going to the bar. It wasn't something they could carry around all day. Otherwise, it had gone off. So it was food stuff. So this was one of the issues that was raised to me. And like I said, I'm just asked as an observation, if you can let the businesses know in advance, like you say, you're going to send a letter out. It was just that it was on the Blues where I got told.
I think the Blues, there is an issue because it's not uptown.
Yeah.
You know, in where we have our events.
Yeah.
Those at the Blues, that doesn't come. It stops at sort of Duke of Lancaster, doesn't it? The Blues.
It does, but the road closure goes beyond that. So it was businesses that side that were affected, which I had my ear bent on the Saturday. But like I said, I can only ask the question. I can't. But if, like I say, if it's been put forward that let us go out, this is the day that we are going to be shut the roads, at least they know for definite. So if you do it for the Blues as well, you say this is the road closure, this is the time they're going to be shut. For the Blues, the road closure on Windy Bank was not been lifted. It was supposed to be open up until 10 a.m, but the barriers were still across the road.
No problem. Thank you.
I was going to bring up the Blues committee.
Yeah, of course. That's what I was about to.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Andy. I'm just going to move on now to the Christmas lights switch on, Nathan.
Final event of the year. So all the operational elements are booked and in place. So the first aid, the security, road closure, traffic management, the waste management. We've gone for a slightly bigger stage than what we had last year. So obviously we've stepped away from using the back of the lorry. We've gone to actual stages. So last year we had a 6 metre by 5 stage, and this year we've got an 8 metre by 6 stage, so it's slightly bigger. And it'll come with obviously the barriers for safety. We've got a variety of entertainment booked for the stage. So we've got dance performances, we've got the Accrington Pipe Band, live music from Andrew Gilmore and Claudia Thompson. We've got stage door, Pendle Hippodrome Youth Theatre. We've got an interactive elf show where the elves will get all the children involved, get them dancing to create enough Christmas magic to send the elves back to the North Pole. And they'll have like a quick meet and greet photo opportunity. And then we've got an interactive Grinch show where the Grinch and Cindy Lou will do a show. Not 100% on the details of the show, but I know they're doing quite an interactive show with the children again, which I'm sure will go down great. We've got the Frozen sing along live after the parade, which I'm sure all the children will love, and then there'll be an opportunity for them to meet Anna and Elsa for photos. And then this year, our headliners, we've got Jack Rhodes, which is a magician, came second on Britain's Got Talent this year, so he's been booked. And then we've got Coronation Street's Anthony Cotton coming along for the finale, with obviously the fireworks. Separate to the stage, we've got a variety of entertainment taking place. So we've got the Rodeo Reindeer, which is back 'cause it's very, very popular. The Giant Snow Globe, donkey rides, craft activities. We've got walkabout characters with the Grinch and Cindy Lou, and the Christmas fairies, which will be handing out like Santa hats and other Christmas goodies. We've got Wall Street Primary School Choir performing. We've got free letter writing, festive trail where people will go. We're doing a Nutcracker trail this year, so they'll go around the businesses finding the Nutcrackers, and then if they find them all, they win a prize. We've got free face painting. We've got a Christmas peat board, and then we've got Olaf the Snowman from Frozen coming along for a meet and greet. Free Santa's Grotto. Which we've got Santa and his elves coming along for the grotto, where there'll be options for a selection box or a book, I think it is, just so we can accommodate to those that can't have chocolate. And then we've got a market with food vendors, and then there's over 50 stalls, which obviously with us not being able to use the fun house or Ernie's, the town council's invested in additional weights and the equipment to be able to do a market down the high street, which we'll be looking at setting up on the Friday evening to make sure it's all weighted and everything's done sufficiently ready for the Saturday. Obviously, if in the week building up to the event it's showing that there's going to be high winds, then we'll look at other options, because obviously health and safety comes first. And then we've got the fairground rides back again, which we've got a Miami booked, which is a big ride where it goes up and around and back down, and then it'll go the opposite way, which it's for the older children really, just to give them something, because normally the rides that come are the small children's juvenile rides. Sponsors for the event, we've got McAdams, which have kindly sponsored this year's Christmas light switch on, and Farmhouse Biscuits as well. So we'll be inviting the sponsors along for the actual light switch on live on stage. That's pretty much it. It's all booked and ordered and in place, ready for the event, 'cause it'll be here before we know it.
When the fireworks go off, right?
Patricia.
Yes, Chair. Are we having the Christmas light parade, the torch parade?
Yeah, the parade's going ahead as normal. So we've had to order a couple more wax torches, but Alice was really happy with how it was done last year. And obviously we'll have stewards and security in place throughout the parade. Yeah. And then minor invoice on the tannoy, make sure people know to hold them up right, don't give them to your children, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Which will be led by Santa.
And the second item is, I know we've not got Ernie's because that's where we had the market last year, and you've got at the market, you are going to have a market. Where is it going to be situated, please? If given the weather.
So as long as we get decent weather, it'll be run down the road like it was in 2022. Similar to how we did it at Easter, now we'll do it at Halloween. We'll run it down the high street, so there'll be a road closure in place to create that busy Christmas market atmosphere, and there'll be fairy lights down. Brilliant.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Reading the minutes from the last meeting, it says here, events officer to investigate what activities the town council can put on inside the Colsington Hall to create a quieter area for the event of the SEND community. Any news on this?
So we've got craft activities taking place in Colne Library. We've got craft activities taking place in Colne Market. And then we're looking at a games area for Colne Library as well. So if there's anyone that struggles with a busy atmosphere or the noise, there will be a quieter area for them to go where they're not feeling like they're being left out from the event because there'll be stuff for them to do. There's the letter writing in the library, which is a quieter activity that they can do. We'll be pretty much utilising the library as a quieter area for those that need it.
Yeah, the reason why I was asking, because somebody mentioned a few years ago when they used the library as the SEND area, the quiet area, and as somebody pointed out, it was just as noisy inside the library as it was outside because of all the activities. And that's why I think somewhere like Colsington, because it's out of the way and you can sit down quietly. Whereas with all the events going on, you can't in the library. And I've walked in and it has been noisy, but I think using Colsington, somewhere like that, as a very quiet area could be quite useful.
The library used to be noisy because of the face painting. That's what it was. I mean, we can give Colne Citadel loads of Christmas colouring sheets and colouring materials if you guys are happy to do that.
Yeah, because Haley, she does have a specialised send room. I think it's just above, isn't it? Where you've got obviously you've got toys up there as well that they can. If it gets too loud there, they can obviously come across to yourselves.
Yeah, we've got a quiet, safe space. We're just off the road, if you will, off the high street, so easily. And there's a bit of a garden for those that do want to be outside. We are looking at perhaps inviting a Father Christmas to come and do a little bit as well. So we might just look at maybe tying in and having a quiet, safe space on that day, without too much advertisement on that, because obviously you'll have your own stuff going on. But maybe Father Christmas can nip in earlier in the day.
Yeah, I can have a chat with him. Yeah, I can have a chat. I'm sure it won't be a problem.
We can get some ideas together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two things. First, what was the size of the stage now? Is 8x6?
8x6, and the one last year was 6x5.
6x5. I don't call a 60% increase in area a little bit bigger, but and the lights themselves, there will be more lit Christmas trees. There's negotiations going on. There is money left. I am told there is money left in the Christmas lights.
Yeah, so
for this year, so there'll be extra Christmas trees.
Yeah, so from PCCU down to the Red Lion, there's a gap in the Christmas displays. So we've had the contractor out, and we're going to look at putting the Christmas trees in the brackets, like what we do as you come onto Market Street, which will come out this year's budget. So it's been ordered, and it'll be part of this year's display, which will add to the atmosphere, because obviously we won't have the fairy lights on Colne Market. So we've got a couple of additional Christmas lights as well.
Just going back to the quiet area, we do also, I forgot who mentioned it, did you, Patricia? Oh, Ian. We do also have some ear defenders.
We do, yes. So we invested in some ear defenders where there's a £10 cash deposit required, because obviously if they go missing, we have to replace them. Which for those children that want to be in the busy area but don't like the noise. These air defenders are very good. 50. So we've got plenty, but obviously there's a £10 cash deposit to make sure that we get them back or we can replace them without it costing the town council anything.
Dorothy just brought up what I was going to bring up then. But on the back of that, do we have a poster or anything like that that tells people that they can hire him?
Yeah, when we've done them before, we've put stuff out on social media, advertising that we've got them, and you can pay a £10 cash deposit, and you can hire them from the information centre. So we've got that graphic that we can utilise.
I'm sort of saying, can we have like is it possible to have like an A board or whatever, just sort of saying, "Hi, you're a defender here."
Yeah, we can do. We've got quite a
and
few chalkboard A-frames down in the unit that we can utilise.
Yeah, just sort of, then they know they can get them from there, and that's that. And the only other thing was they did mention it's really difficult at any event was having a quieter first hour, you know, with no music, but you don't want to detract from the atmosphere for the event either. So I'll leave that one weird, really.
I mean, every event that we do, we always have quiet hours, first hour, so there's no music. It's the quieter activities taking place, so there's no like stilt walkers or brass bands or pipe bands or anything like that. It's pretty much craft activities. It not being as busy, we utilise that first hour as quiet hour, which we'll still be doing for Christmas this year as well.
Nathan, I am available 24/7 as a volunteer, so if you're slightly struggling for volunteers, I am free anytime.
I appreciate that, David. Thank you.
Something about send, I think. Or I know what I was going to say. The parish church will be doing crafts, and that's a quiet area. Every Christmas they do crafts where you can make like stained glass window things and things like that. And I did think we were going to ask the children's centre, because they were thinking about doing something for quiet things. So I know there will be lots of quiet things and quiet areas for them to, I don't want to have them segregated really. If they've got ear defenders, they can wander about, can't they?
Conversations are ongoing with the Pendle neighbourhood team just up the road about utilising the sensory room and stuff like that. So conversations are ongoing.
Thank you very much for that one. This one, item number 11, I think you were looking at the potential pride options for 2026.
So this was an item that was brought up for an item for a future month's agenda. I've sat down with the town clerk to look at options. It's looking unlikely, to be honest, simply down to the staff team's already working above capacity, and the likelihood of us getting an increase in the events budget for an additional event is going to be very, very slim, because obviously there's all these discussions about additional services and other stuff that take priority over events because we don't have to do events. So it is quite unlikely that any options are there, because like I said, the staff are already working above capacity and the money's not there to put a full event on. Obviously there's options for like a float at the gala for Pride, which now that the town council's taken over the running of the gala, we'll be able to make sure that goes ahead. But an event just for Pride, I think we will struggle, like I say, just the staffing and resources and money available to be able to do something. But if anyone's any questions.
Thank you for that. What I think we could do, as many other towns and cities obviously do, if they're not having an event, maybe display the flags. Fly the flags. Obviously, we've got a flagpole out there that we could temporarily use. Maybe put them outside market, obviously in the town centre, obviously to acknowledge.
We do normally fly the LGBTQ plus flag. We didn't this year because when we got it out, it didn't look good. When it had been washed, all the colours had mixed, and it was quite a colourful mess, but not as you'd want the Pride flag to look. Hence, it not going out this year. But we've got a new one. It's downstairs in store, ready for Pride Month next year, which is June, isn't it? So we'll then have a flag for the flagpoles just across the road. Like I say, we do normally have one. It was just it not being checked prior this year, which is my mistake. So,
thank you, Chair. You say that I'm disappointed is. I think you can tell in my voice is that. But I understand the reasoning, and thank you for offering us a spot on the Cone Gala, which we, I think, my colleagues who were open to helping to plan this would be willing to accept. I will try in the meantime to get in touch with organisers from other prides to find out how they started off, because we are just starting off. And I was talking to Craig earlier this week, and we know that here in Cone there is a big LGBTQ community, but a lot of it is hidden. And if we can show the people of Cone that we are in full support of the community, then maybe they'll be a bit more adventurous themselves. I would like to say thank you for at least putting it on the agenda. And as I said, I will do my best in the next 5 months to come up with something that will help, and hopefully try and twist the arms of the FES to give us some money, and hopefully the council to give us some extra staff to help try and put this on in 2026. I am not giving up. My family does not give up, and neither will I. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you. I'd just like to say that we are an inclusive society now. I hope that the council is very inclusive, which I think we are. Now, I know I'm not on the committee, but I'm just having an idea there of we do have access to grants, sorry, not through the town council, but like the Police Crime Commissioner have grants for inclusivity. So if you were to set up or look at having a core group set up to help run it, and then applied for grants from like the PCC, from LCC, because they do have grants for this kind of thing. That may be the avenue to look at going down with the help of the Cone Town Council. At least that way, if it's just finance, there may be outside sources be able to access, because at the moment I know through FES there isn't the budget at the moment, not without putting more up next year, and it's going to be bad enough putting the council tax up again if it goes that way, then because people are going to start complaining. But yeah, we all do. But I think the option there is possible, looking at maybe looking at idea for grants from like PCC, LCC, and other organisations that will help offset. So don't put it down as being under the bed. It's not.
No.
But
as I say, I'm a fighter, and I will. This will rise again. There will be another Phoenix.
Thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one, this one was Dorothy's suggestion at the last meeting, the Pride of Corn Awards. Did you?
So again, I've sat down with the town clerk to look at options. There was a couple of ideas that we had. We had the idea of holding an award ceremony here at the town hall, but then we looked at the calendar for the next 12 months of the town hall, and we're pretty much fully booked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Weekends wouldn't be available because the staff's running parties and other functions down at Primmick Community Centre, which is fully booked. So we came to a conclusion that the best way of doing the Pride of Colne Awards would be at the council's AGM every May. Get people along and utilise that time before the obviously May full council meeting to award people with certificates, and it gives us time to prepare for the nomination period, and pretty much from January through to May we have a quieter spell where we can get that done ready for obviously May AGM meeting, where it wouldn't affect current room bookings, it wouldn't affect staff, because obviously, like I say, a lot of the staff do parties and functions down at the community centre. So myself and Gina feel the best option would be to hold a small award ceremony as part of the council's AGM meeting. If anyone's got any suggestions or ideas or anything.
So I think last month you sort of mentioned that, and I was sort of like, oh, I don't like that. But then I went away and reflected like a little bit, and I actually think it's a really good idea. It's a bit harsh to ask people to come to AGM suited and booted, you know, from the council's point of view, but it could be quite sort of small but prestigious, you know, and maybe that's what it could be about. And if that's the way that we have to do it at the minute, then I'd love that. I think that'd be a great idea.
Thank you, Chair. When I saw this, I thought, yeah. I was on the same committee 3, 4, 5 years ago for Nelson. When Nelson, straight after COVID, Nelson did a Pride of Nelson Awards. What we did at Nelson, we got firms to sponsor each award. We had 10 categories. And we got firms, and it cost Nelson nothing, because the firms sponsored and paid for everything. So, but obviously, it did fall. Some of the work did fall on the town clerk, Nick, and he did a magnificent job, like you and Gina do, brilliant jobs. But a lot of the work was also done by the committee. I know we have people who work like Andy and Craig, but there's a lot at the spot, and sorry, Chair, you as well. But we've got some fabulous brains in this room that could come up with suggestions, ideas to relieve some of the pressure on our wonderful team, because you've got the Grand Prix, the Fun Day, Halloween, Remembrance Sunday, Christmas, Easter, the Fun Day. You've got everything already weighing you down, and now, and of course, you're taking on the gala. So you've got that chain that Jacob Marley has. I don't want to give you Scrooge's chain as well. So, but we have got some good brains here that we could come up and help to do this. I appreciate the first one doing at the May AGM, but if we want to do this in future, plan it, but using the brains in this room to help move it forward. Because I reckon, because of who we are, where we are, and the people we are, we can do it better than Nelson.
It's a very excellent suggestion. I'm sure, like, if we all put our heads together, we actually can going forward.
Thank you, Chair. I know now Dot will know this one. I can't remember if it's Colin Bloom or Waterside Neighbourhood Action Group, but they have an award ceremony every year. Colin Bloom, and they have awards, etc., etc. Very well attended, really good. Couldn't we sort of blend these two together? You know, that way, because it's all organised. Colin Bloom do a fantastic job. They're so hardworking, especially Dot, who should be crowned for this and that. Wait, I'm trying to boost you, you know. A bit of publicity for you, a bit of publicity for you. But no, but on a serious note, blending this together, because obviously something's in place. So instead of having two separate, to have one, because they're tying together.
The only problem with that is you've got to consider your room capacity. If you've already got a well-attended award ceremony and then you want to put another award ceremony together with that, you're going to go above capacity very quickly.
I attended last year and it was full in here. Even last year it was full.
Oh.
This room was full.
Well, the Colin Bloom Awards started more or less when Colin Bloom started, which was about, I think, 16 years ago, and they've always been successful. I think it's a good idea, that, Ian, but whether it will work, I don't know. I know when I did them to start with, and Alice does them now and pulls it all together, this council chamber has been packed, absolutely packed. Now, Radio Lancashire and other radio stations in the region are doing the Making a Difference awards. I think now this is what this should be called, Making a Difference. I think, anyway, which is what Colin Bloom are doing, but that's a separate thing, isn't it? I don't know now.
I'll just say something off the wall, really. But if I was up for one of these awards, right, I'd like to go to something like the Colne Switch On event with thousands of people there and have my name given out and everybody give me a really good clap and that. Because if you want to say someone's really good, you need to all the town to know about it. Do. That's what I'd do.
It goes out of my head. I'm happy to gather, if there are some categories, I'm happy to gather sponsors. I can do that because I'm well hard.
No, I'll never do that.
I do have a suggestion, which probably wouldn't be able to be suggested during a public meeting, but it might be able to get mentioned once we turn the live stream off, which could work quite well. But like I say, I'll mention it once the live stream goes off.
We'll discuss that after the. Andy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I didn't know this was going to be on the agenda, this one. But I came across a situation in town recently where a young female was helping to make a difference, where a gentleman ended up requiring a paramedic turning up. And I asked this young lady, she stood there, she had very little battery left on her phone, and she stayed with this person, she was comforting, she was able to get other help in, she was contacting the ambulance service. letting them know what was going on. They were asking her questions, so she was dealing with all this. And I was just out there shopping. I went, everything all right? And I was able to then help, even if it's just, she didn't know if the guy had a stroke or anything. But this person was actually classed as a vulnerable person at the end. And I thought, how do we recognise the good people in this town who will make a difference, even if it's just stepping up and doing a small thing, as well as somebody who makes a big difference. And I was actually going to bring it up at the next meeting to say, we need to recognise these people. But seeing it's on here, I'm happy. Thank you.
Yeah, what happens with the Making a Difference awards on Radio Lancashire is that people nominate, they send in nominations and it's sorted from that, and then they go to the Opera House at Blackpool, I think they went last year, to receive their awards. So perhaps it's something we could look at on social media. You know, there's going to be, you know, do you want to nominate somebody? And then there's somebody that looks through that, or a team of us that look through that, who's got the most nominations, and, you know, for whatever. So it's the biggest job. It's the biggest.
The advertising through.
Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah.
And do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are the different categories.
Yeah.
So, public spirited person, young person of the year, trader of the year,
Right.
entrepreneur,
Old woman of the year.
senior citizen of the year, volunteer of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things like that, and the team of councillors that was working on it, they then selected it.
That's right.
And but they actually then put it through to 3 judges.
Yeah.
Independent judges.
Yeah.
Who decided on the winner.
Yeah.
The councillor would do the shortlist, and then the judges would actually.
Somebody like the sponsors could do that, you know.
I was suggesting that we could do like an online poll, basically, like have some candidates in that poll, and spread it out. And also, I just thought I'd bring it out in the open, especially in front of Her Majesty Dorothy. That I have created a TikTok page called at Keeping Colne Clean.
Well, don't get me on TikTok.
And
Have enough bother.
And just to let you know, I did it about 4 weeks ago, and I've got up to now, I've got over 355 followers from all the way around the world, appreciating all the hard work that Colne Bloom and the Waterside Action Group do in Colne.
Good. Good.
Well, does anybody have any items for a future agenda?
I might have. I've been to Rottenstall this afternoon, and there was a big banner on a railing outside the bus station, and they'd had an event last Saturday, and it was I forgot what it was now. Oh, 60s in the Square. What's up with that? What's wrong with that? Well, I like 60s music. I thought, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. 60s in the park. Oh, forget it.
Yeah, they're doing themed sort of weekends going forward.
See, I missed the 70s. I was bringing my kids up. I didn't hear any of the 70s. 60s, 80s, 90s, and yeah.
That was the 80s.
It's just a matter. You don't need to write it down.
I just thought of a future event, because I go to the Haworth 1940s event, and that's a fantastic turnout. Why can't Colne do the 1940s event?
We have actually discussed that previously. It wasn't feasible for us to follow it through, was it?
No, the problem we've got with additional events is the pressure on the staff, the money available to put additional events on, because you can't put an event on for very little money nowadays. It's a couple of £1,000, which obviously with the talks of additional services, the council can't commit to that. But obviously we are a small staffing team. We don't just deal with events and the services that people see. There's the facilities, there's the community centre, there's room bookings here, maintenance in the park and watering plants and all those jobs. So it means that an additional event would put additional pressure on the staff team, which obviously we want to make sure the staff are happy and the staff want to engage with the events, because if the staff start to not enjoy doing the events because of the amount of events we're doing, then it'll just be me stood there.
Thank you, Chair. People tend to forget that, yeah, we are not the only sort of committee, group, whatever, that puts on events in Colne. I know that we're the best in the world at doing this. We've got the best staff in the world, but seems to be a little known group of people called Colne Bid, who also, now this may only be a rumour, but apparently they put on events. So why don't they get approached for events such as this? I think it's more in their remit than ours. Because as I say, the staff here are working far too hard for their own good. And to increase that burden is not good. But Colne Bid, well, but if they are not very well organised, that's not our problem, because they are there. Colne Bid put on events. People pay money into Colne Bid, So I think you should be approaching Colne Bid and saying, can you put these events on, not Colne Town Council?
Thank you for that, Ian. That's something that obviously it's something that you'd have to discuss with their bid manager, but other than that, thank you very much for everyone for attending. The date and time for the next meeting